Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got 22 of the most amazing plugins that I use every single mix. I really recommend all of these, and I really can't do my sound without any of these plugins. A lot of them are irreplaceable. I'm gonna go ahead and dive on into it. Number one is gonna be the Slate Virtual Mix Rack. This has been a go-to for my vocal sound for years. I really like to do the virtual channel for some saturation into the London Tube Collection, playing with the mix knob. Then I like to hit it with the Slate FG Stress. That's my main vocal compressor. I also like to use the mix knob 6-to-1, and then sometimes I'll use the Custom Series Lift to either add a little bit more fatness or to bring in some high end. Number two is Auto Tune 8 by Antares. My go-to settings is for a relaxed tune. I like to use an 11 retune speed, and I turn the flex tune up to about 23. Sometimes I'll bring it up to 7, and I'll bring the flex tune down to 15, just if I want a little bit stronger of a tune sound. And of course, you can go all the way if you really want to. These are just some go-to settings. Always set it to the key of the song, and I actually like to leave the input type to soprano. It's a personal preference. For some low, deeper voices, you might want to actually bring this down, but in some cases, the soprano sounds more brighter, and that's what I like about it. Plugin number 3 is FabFilter Pro MB. Now, I really like to basically use this as a de-esser on my vocals. Instant attack, hard knee, using the free band, so it's only detecting off of the high frequencies. Basically, you set the threshold so it only attacks the S's, and then bring this down just depending on how much high end you want to control in the vocal. I'm going to go ahead and play it, and I'm going to A-B it for you with and without it.
I'm running bags in a running bag, no stadium. On a flight pad with a I'm running bags in a running bag, no stadium. On a flight pad with an ice bath, I'm move weight gymnasium. On 100 stacks in a gift bag, when you get that, don't play with them. When you talk cash, I'm about that. I don't smoke swag, Canadian, yeah. I'm coming a quick boy and look at the clock, been hitting the hood, got a leak cause I hot. I'm serving Supremes and hitting the spot. I'm busting a bitch and avoiding the cops. Do it for life, yeah, I like it a lot. Smoking the greatest, the cream of the crop. Not on my waist, have a switch on the clock.
See how it kind of controls that noise? And if you notice where I have my threshold, it's not constantly compressing. It's only taking care of those S's, and it really controls some of that excess noise and cleans up vocals a lot, and can actually contain some of the harshness, because when this high end builds up amongst a lot of vocals, it's gonna get in the way of your clarity. Alright, so my fourth favorite plugin is going to be the Wave CLA 76. I used to stay away from this plugin because I feel like it's really aggressive and it can add a lot of harshness to your vocal, but at the same time, it gives you this nice flattening effect that when you have a rap song and you want the vocal to just stay in your face, this thing is a really good go-to. Personally, I like the Blackie more than the Bluey. It sounds smoother, but that's kind of personal preference depending on the song and the vibe that you're going for. Anyways, I'm going to play the vocal with and without it.
I'm running bags in a running bag, no stadium. On a flight pad with an ice bath, I'm move weight gymnasium.
Alright, that's without it, and here's with it.
I'm running bags in a running bag, no stadium. On a flight pad with an ice bath, I'm move weight gymnasium. On 100 stacks in a gift bag, when you get that, don't play with them. When you talk cash, I'm about that. I don't smoke swag, Canadian, yeah. I'm coming a quick boy and look at the clock, been hitting the hood, got a leak cause I hot. Serving Supremes and hitting the spot. I'm running bags in a running bag, no stadium. On a flight pad.
Alright, so the fifth plugin is going to be Waves L2. It's my favorite thing to just throw on the end of a vocal chain, chop off a little of those extra peaks, or even throw it on your effects. So if you have delays, reverbs, adding a little compression can control those effects from getting in the way of other elements in your mix.
I'm running bags in a running bag, no stadium. On a flight pad with an ice bath, I'm move weight gymnasium. On 100 stacks in a gift bag, when you get that, don't play with them.
So it's really up to you. You can really crush your effects, and it's also great to put on ad-libs because ad-libs have a lot of uncontrollable high end, and so the L2 really squashes them and helps keep them out of the way of the main vocal. Alright, my sixth favorite plugin is going to be the Sound Toys Little Altar Boy. I like it because you can throw it on a vocal and get some crazy effects.
Got a hit list with interest, you don't wanna smoke with this shit. I hit licked with wish list, lot of quick trips with big risk. Got 6 ships, some shipments, gotta check my.
Sometimes when you pitch a vocal down, it'll sound kind of corny. And I feel like in a lot of cases, form it. If you pitch down form it instead of just the pitch, it will sound a lot deeper, but it won't sound like a monster. Like in a lot of ways, it's a less invasive way to make something sound deeper. So I'll reach for form it, and a lot of times when the pitch isn't working, or sometimes a combination of form it and pitch is a better way to get what you're looking for.
Got a hit list with interest, you don't wanna smoke with this shit. I hit licked with wish list, lot of quick trips with big risk. Got 6 ships, some shipments, gotta
Check my statistics. Got thick bricks for a quick fix. Made a quick flip on my slick whip.
Alright, so my 7th favorite plugin is going to be the Waves Doubler. This is my favorite thing to just throw on some ad-libs. So if you have a main vocal and an ad-lib competing with each other, using Waves Doubler and just muting the direct signal will make your ad-lib stereo. It'll make it on the left and the right and get it out of the way of your main vocal. So it's a great way to add clarity to your mix. Also, if you're mixing a track and someone didn't double their hook, you can actually use the doubler to kind of create a fake double, and sometimes that will be a secret sauce to making your vocal sound more stereo. In this instance, I'm going to show you how it sounds on the ad-libs. Here's without it. See, dead mono. Now I'm going to turn the doubler on. And you may need speakers or headphones to hear that properly, but you could tell it makes the ad-lib completely stereo. My 8th favorite plugin is going to be the Waves Mondo Mod. Now this essentially just works like a panner, and it also has some modulation happening. So you could throw this on some ad-libs, a bridge section vocal, or you can even put it on elements in the song. Right here, I've got it on this track. I did this in this song just so it wasn't dead center and I had a little bit more room to play with. Alright, so the 9th plugin is going to be FabFilter Pro L. This is my main 2 limiter for mastering for the final crush on the mix. A lot of cases you want to turn oversampling on. I like this all around mode, and then turn the transient links off.
It's the cream of the crop. Not on my waist, have a switch on the Glock. We're talking to chickens, they serving no rocks. Young stack of paper off benzos, but that don't mean we in the friend zone.
It's a great mastering limiter. You can also put it on some of your vocal buses or instrument buses to help contain those transients. A lot of cases I like the L2 better on the buses because it's more aggressive, and then the Pro L is nicer on the master bus because it doesn't crush the transients quite as much. It sounds a little bit more transparent to me. Alright, so the next plugin I've got for you is Ozone. Any of the Ozones will work. I have Ozone 5, Ozone 6. In this particular mix, I just reached for Ozone 5. And I really just like to use this subtly after the Pro L to give a kind of second limiting and crush to the mix instead of pushing the Pro L harder. And then sometimes I like to play with the stereo imaging a little bit, the harmonic exciter. And one thing that I actually do like about Ozone 5 is you can blend in some very subtle reverb for certain tracks. It can be a secret sauce. Alright, so the next plugin I've got for you is going to be the SPL Vitalizer. Now this really can clean up vocals. It can get rid of some of the low end and give you some brightness and clarity and stereo expansion. The main thing you want to play with is this process knob, and then this bass tightening. It's going to affect the low end, the compression, and then I like the stereo expander. I'm going to solo the vocal and I'm going to play with the controls so you can hear what it's doing.
It's the cream of the crop. Not on my waist, have a switch on the Glock. I'm talking to chickens, they serving no rocks. Young stack of paper off benzos, but that don't mean we in the friend zone. Got a couple acres with fence posts, don't fuck with me. I'ma call your mama, get body bag, get sent home. Got a couple homies in the front yard where Mac 11 with extendos. Got a hit. It's the cream of the crop. Not on my waist, have a
Right, so it usually works better in smaller doses, but this can really brighten your vocals up. The next plugin I've got for you is CLA Effects. I like to just use this on a send, just like a reverb. Sometimes I'll use the widening effects on here, but I mainly like to use this for the slap. I really like the sound of the slap delay. So it's just great to just blend it in. If you've got a mono vocal, it can add some stereo width to it.
It's the cream of the crop. Not on my waist, have a switch on the Glock. I'm talking to chickens, they serving no rocks. Young stack of paper off benzos, but that don't mean we in the friend zone. Got a couple acres with fence posts.
Just make sure you turn this direct button off so that you're getting only the effect and you don't have direct vocal mixed in if you're putting this on a bus. The next plugin I've got for you is Pod Farm Delays. Actually, all of the Pod Farm suite is really cool, but in particular, I really like these delays. I'm going to solo this effect so you can hear it in action.
It's the cream of the crop. Not on my waist, have a switch on the Glock. I'm talking to chickens, they serving the rocks.
This tape echo is super sick. And then I like to follow that up with the next plugin in my list, the side widener. So since the Pod Farm delays are mono, if you put the side widener on it, you can really put this on any mono source and turn it completely stereo. All you do is play with this width knob. You've got several different modes. You've got a tone control, which will make your low end mono and just the high end stereo. But I find the 50% default setting sounds pretty good most of the time. I'm going to play it and I'm going to widen this delay so you can hear it in action.
It's the cream of the crowd. I'm not on my waist, I'm a switch on the clock. I'm talking to chickens, they serving the rocks. Young stack of paper off benzos, but that.
And this is great for getting your effects out of the center so you can feel more of the stereo spectrum. This is like secret sauce right here for mixing vocals. All right. And then also sometimes I like to follow that up with a reverb. One of my favorite reverbs is this Valhalla Vintage Verb. If you just use a tiny bit of the mix and turn the decay down, it adds a little bit more waviness to your delays.
It's the cream of the crowd. I'm not on my waist, I'm a switch on the clock. I'm talking to chickens, they serving the rocks. Young stack of paper off benzo.
This can be really important for getting a larger than life vocal sound. And a lot of times I'll follow that up with an L2 to squash it. All right, my next plugin in the list is going to be the Better Maker BM60. Now this is my favorite short reverb when you need just a little bit more vibe to your vocal, but you don't want some reverb that's going to get in the way. This Better Maker reverb is just super sick. It's got a built-in ducker function. You can adjust the stereo width and you have different preset times, which I actually kind of like. It's less thought process. You can just click the reverb time. You don't have to worry about turning a dial.
It's the cream of the crowd. I'm not on my waist, I'm a switch on the clock.
It's a great room sound. So just blending this in subtly with your main vocal gives you a whole lot of vibe. All right, so the next plugin on my list is this NLS bus. This is just sick to put on the master bus and you turn it up and it gives you volume and saturation without making your mix peak too high. Instead of just turning it up, adding some saturation is a great way to get some extra volume. I'm going to play it and I'm going to turn the drive up so you can hear what it's doing.
It's the cream of the crowd. I'm not on my waist, I'm a switch on the clock. I'm talking to chickens, they serving the rocks. Young stack of paper off benzos, but that don't mean we in the friend zone. Got a couple acres with fence posts, don't fuck with me. I'ma call your mama, get body bag, get sent home. Got a couple homies in the front yard with Mac 11 with extendos.
Right, so just use your ears on this one. But like I said, this is one of the secrets to getting a lot of volume in your master. The next plugin in my list is Waves MV2. Now you can literally throw this on anything and it's basically a parallel compression knob. So you put this on your vocals, this will crank up the sustain. You can put it on effects if you need more effects. This is great for drums, 808s, and I like to just throw it on the master bus and you get a lot of extra volume and sustain in your mix just by turning up this low level noise.
It's the cream of the crowd. I'm not on my waist, I'm a switch on the clock. I'm talking to chickens, they serving the rocks. Young stack of paper off benzos, but that don't mean we in the friend zone. Got a couple acres with fence posts, don't fuck with me. I'ma call your mama, get body bag, get sent home. Got a couple homies in the front yard with Mac 11 with extendos.
Just turning up that low level noise will give you a lot more perceived volume. All right, the next plugin I've got for you is Waves Factory Spectre. This is basically an EQ, but it's more than EQ, it's a saturator. This is great for boosting. I've got it on the vocal bus, that's usually where I'll use it.
It's the cream of the crowd. I'm not on my waist, have a switch on the clock. I'm talking to chickens, they serving the rocks. Young stack of paper off benzos, but that don't mean we in the friend zone. Got a couple acres with fence posts. Don't.
Now I actually have a full video on this plugin on my channel. If you'd like to learn more about it, just a quick rundown. You can link the input and output, so this will basically work like a drive knob, and then you choose whichever mode. The different modes are designed for different things. For vocals, the tube sounds great on high end. The warm and the taper better for low end instruments, but again, feel free. Sometimes the clean is cool, but the clean is more so just a basic EQ. What you're really going for this plugin is the saturation, and I also like the Class B a lot.
It's the cream of the crowd. I'm not on my waist, have a switch on the clock. I'm talking to chickens, they serving the rocks. Young stack of paper off benzos, but that.
I recommend just flipping through them and seeing which one sounds cleaner and nicer to you for that particular mix.
It's the cream of the crowd. I'm not on my waist, have a switch on the clock. I'm talking to chickens, they serving the rocks. Young stack of paper off benzos, but that don't mean we in the friend zone. Got a couple acres with fence posts, don't fuck with me. I'ma call your mama, get body bag, get sent home.
This also sounds great if you just throw it on your beats as well. All right, next on the list is going to be the style chorus. If you make your track stereo by hitting this little button, it may work different in different DAWs. This is how you do it in Studio One, but the track is mono. You put it in stereo so you can add stereo effects, and then you throw this chorus on here, and then you play with the stereo width knob and the dry wet control.
Got a hit list with interest, you don't wanna smoke with this shit. I hit licks with wish lists, lot of quick trips with big risk. Got 6 ships, some shipments, gotta check my statistics. Got thick bricks for a quick fix, made a quick flip in my slick whip.
It's great to put this on ad-libs to give you a little extra waviness or spread them out a little bit wider. All right, so here I have another secret weapon for crazy loudness. It's going to be the Oxford inflator. Just throw this on your master bus and turn the effect knob up, and then play with the band split, see if it sounds better with or without it. And then also play with the curve knob. If you have a lot of lows in your beat, playing with the curve can get you some more loudness without distorting the lows as much.
Block been hitting the hood, got a leak cause I hot. Serving Supremes, I hitting the spot. I'm busting a bitch and avoiding the cops. Do it for life, yeah, I like it a lot. Smoking the greatest, the cream of the crop. Not on my waist, have a switch on the Glock. We're talking to chickens, they serving the rocks. Young stack of paper off benzos, but that don't mean we in the friend zone. Got a couple acres with fence posts. Don't fuck with me, I'ma call your mama, get body bag, get
right. So if you're really trying to get a loud mix, that Oxford inflator is super sick. All right, the last plugin I've got for you guys is going to be the Black Box. This is great for throwing on your vocals, for just making them pop straight out of the mix. You're going to turn the mix down and you're going to play with this triode knob.
Block been hitting the hood, got a leak cause I hot. Serving Supremes, I hitting the spot. I'm busting a bitch and avoiding the cops. Do it for life, yeah, I like it a lot. Smoking the greatest, the cream of the crop. Not on my way.
If you have this on vocals, this air knob is really cool. Just don't overdo it. And then again, you're going to blend it in with the mix knob. The Black Box can also sound cool on the master. If you're really trying to get a loud mix, this can also be another secret. I just don't do it all the time because it can distort your bass a lot. But sometimes if you're really trying to push the loudness of a mix, dial the mix down and turn up this triode knob, or even the pentode if you're really trying to push it.
Coming a quick boy and look at the clock. Been hitting the hood, got a leak cause I hot. Serving Supremes, I hitting the spot. I'm busting a bitch and avoiding the cops. Do it.
It gets really crispy really quickly, so be careful with it. Anyways, that's what I've got for you guys today. Drop your favorite plugins in the comments so I can go check them out if I don't have them already. If you have any questions or like to get your song mixed and mastered, please contact me at my website, producergod.com. Subscribe to my channel and like this video for more content. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, and you guys have a good one.
Coming a quick boy and look at the clock. Been hitting the hood, got a leak cause I hot. Serving Supremes, I hitting the spot.